Hello all my beasties, welcome to the lair. Today we're going to go ahead and field strip the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 in 45 ACP. It's one of the more popular firearms I've gotten requests for. It is available with a thumb safety, however, as you can see, mine does not have one. What you may notice looking at it from this angle is I do have the ambidextrous slide lock, and there is an ambidextrous option for the magazine release. You can swap it. So the way I carry it, this is where I have everything. You'll see my magazine release. You'll see the takedown lever. You'll see my slide lock. The Smith & Wesson M&P 45 has a visual indicator on the top of the firearm if you're looking down at the slide to show you if you have a chambered round. You would see the back edge of the chambered round through through a hole when you're looking at it from above. There is also a model where there's a tactile method of checking to see if it's loaded. So on mine, as you can see, there's the hole you would look into to see if you can see a round. On some where it says 45 auto, there's a little lever that pops up so you can feel it and tell if you're in a low light situation. One thing to note, you cannot run plus P plus loads through this firearm. It will damage the firearm and is explicitly not covered by the manufacturer. As we always do, because safety is paramount, we are going to check our weapon and we are going to make sure it is clear. As you can see, I have an empty magazine loaded. There is nothing in the chamber. All you can see is the feed ramp, which is the bright silver. Here's my takedown lever. Here's the magazine release. Here's your slide lock. I'm going to go ahead and take the magazine out of my pistol, and I'm going to go ahead and set it aside. We're not going to cover disassembly of the magazine. If you'd like me to cover it, leave it in the comments below. When you're looking down into the empty magazine well, you're going to see this interesting little S. That is your sear pin. You need to disengage it in order to be able to remove the slide. The nice thing is the Smith & Wesson M&P does come with a tool for this. So as you can see right behind the magazine, this actually turns 90 degrees and pulls out. It's a bit tough to do, especially on a newer pistol. It takes a little bit of strength. If you are at all past 90 degrees or not quite at 90 degrees, you will not be able to pull it out. There's little wings on it. So you'll see I make sure it's at 90 degrees and then I pull it out. It does take a little bit of muscle. I'm sorry, it was harder to get a better view of it on camera. Using this little tool, you may have to fish a little bit, but you'll see you can catch the edge of that sear lock and flip it down into the deactivation position so you'll be able to remove the slide. Once I have it flicked down, you're going to be able to really clearly see it. You can see it's still up here, and that's why I say kind of fish it out a little bit. There we go. I have it flipped down. I like to press on it with my finger very gently to make sure it is all the way down and parallel with the frame. At this point, we're going to go ahead like normal and remove our slide. To do so, you're going to need to take the takedown lever and move it into the 90-degree vertical 6 o'clock position. If it is not 100% there, you will not be able to remove your slide. We're going to go ahead and pull back on this slide, release the slide lock, and slowly slide the entire slide assembly off the firearm. Like always, we will visually inspect the frame, and then we're going to go ahead and set it aside. When you flip the side assembly over, you'll notice it looks like most side assemblies. But the spring may look a little bit different. It's because it has a dual recoil spring. It is a very stiff spring. So what you're going to see is, even with my hand strength, I have a little bit of trouble with it. So I push it forward. But sometimes if you're having a hard time pushing it forward and raising the back to disengage it, and you don't want to avoid it flying across the room, what I'll do is depress it with my thumb and then use my other thumb to help lift it so I can release it in a controlled manner. Here's the recoil spring. It's still on the guide rod. We do not need to remove it. Now you're going to grab the lug for the barrel and grab it, pull up and out. It is not attached to anything at this point. If I were cleaning this, we would do it like we always do, cleaning rails. We would lightly oil the barrel and the 8 major contact points and any friction-bearing surfaces, along with the inside of the barrel. As you can see, mine is perfectly clean and oiled. I'm not going to go through that today. If you want me to, leave it in the comments. I'll clean it next time I go to the range on video. We're going to go ahead and put it back together again, because there's one other way that we can remove the slide, and it's a little bit controversial with some people, but it can be done, and there are safer ways to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and reseat my recoil spring. I'm going to press down and to the side. I'm going to make sure it's really seated in there well. So you can see my sear pin that I've deactivation pin. I'm going to flip it back up, and I'm going to go ahead and put the slide back on the frame. Make sure you push the slide all the way to the rear. And remember, nothing is holding it on. If you lean it forward at all, as you will see, it'll just kind of free slide off. So keep tight, push it all the way back until it clicks and is completely seated. You'll notice that my takedown lever has moved. I'm going to need to put that back into the 90-degree position before I remove the slide again, but it commonly does move while you are disassembling your pistol. So at this point, we're going to go over the other method. I need to stress safety is paramount. We are going to double check that our weapon has no magazine and is completely clear. We are also going to make sure we do not have the firearm pointed at anybody or anything we would not want to shoot, even though we do know it is unloaded. At this point, if you hold onto the slide lightly and pull the trigger just a little bit, you do not need to depress the trigger the entire way, you will see the slide is going to release and come right off. Make sure you have your hand on it. It will go flying. Not that I've ever done that before. Okay, guys. So at this time, we're going to go ahead. We are going to put the slide back onto the pistol frame. We're going to go lock it all the way to the rear. We are going to make sure our slide catch lever is still working and seats properly in the groove, which as you can see here, it does. I'm going to return my takedown lever and take it out of that 90-degree 6 o'clock vertical position. I'm going to go ahead and release my slide to make sure that it still releases without any issue and that it's not catching or binding. Now I'm going to take the tool, put it back in. You can kind of see the little wings and the keyhole way it's cut. Make sure it's pressed all the way down firmly. And then we're going to turn it back the 90 degrees to lock it back into place. Now I'm going to insert my magazine back into the pistol, and we're done. I hope you all had a great time in the lair with me tonight. Can't wait to see you all again. Like I said, questions are always welcomed in the comments, suggestions, things you want to see, and thank you to all of my other supporters. I'll see you again soon.